Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Daniela Cesar. Today I have a little bit of a tutorial and like a tips and tricks type of video for you, especially if you wear glasses like I do or just sunglasses in general. I have a bunch of tips for you for when your makeup like shifts around or just collects in weird places like on your cheeks right here, and especially the bridge of your nose where your glasses sit. It is super annoying, so if you want to learn a little bit more about that, then just stay tuned. But before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and of course ring the notification bell, that way you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first things first, obviously I need to take these off. So something that I find really helps is priming, and now that's going to help you whether you wear glasses or not in general, but of course especially if you wear glasses, you want to prime in the right areas. Now I know a lot of people don't believe in primers, don't like to wear primers, it's like another added step and this and that. I get it, but trust me, it makes such a big difference. At least that's what I find with myself. So what I'm going to do is prime very strategically, and this is a routine that I've been implementing ever since I started using this primer, and I really find that it makes a difference specifically with this product. But honestly, any primer that claims to be more long-lasting and long-wearing for your makeup will help, but this is just what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Hydro Grip Primer from Milk Makeup. So I'm going to apply just a tiny drop. Honestly, this, I don't know if you can tell because it's so bright here, but this is as much as you need, just a tiny drop, like a pea size. And then just place that on your nose and really massage it in there, especially in the areas where, of course, your glasses touch. Like sometimes, I don't know about you, but my glasses slide, so I like to put it across my entire nose. And just wherever my makeup might shift a little bit more, so for me, kind of on my cheek area and whatnot. Of course, this is also a very hydrating primer, so if you need to put it all over, feel free. I'm just kind of showing you how I would spot prime, I guess. And because this has a lot of ingredients that will specifically help lock in your makeup and grip onto your makeup, I really like this, and I really find that it helps the makeup on top not moved around as much. Now, because it is makeup and it is being placed on top of your skin, if you put something on top of it or you touch it, it's going to move. Like it's just going to happen. But there are certain steps that we can take to kind of help minimize that as much as possible. And I find that at the end of my 12-hour workday, the makeup on my nose is still either fully there or it's barely rubbed off a little bit. Another primer that I will use is more of a mattifying primer, for a pore filling primer, just because I like to pore fill a little bit. And so I'm going to use the Milk Makeup Blur Stick, and I like to put that in the areas like my T-zone basically, so like on my cheeks right here, my forehead, and maybe a little bit on my chin. Nothing crazy, you don't need a whole lot of this, but I do find that this helps the cheek area here where my glasses might touch. And obviously just, you can place this wherever you really need it. Okay, so now that we're perfectly primed, we can move on to foundation. So if you wear more dewy foundations, which is something that I typically like to do, then yes, your makeup is more likely to move around and, you know, throughout the day, just not stay in place as much. It's just the nature of those kind of foundations. So I would suggest using more of a matte foundation or of a natural finish foundation, because they are not as dewy as, I don't want to say oily because they don't necessarily have to be oily, but it's just going to be less likely to move, which would help, again, the foundation from not moving off of your nose. Another tip would just be to not apply as much product on your nose, as least as you possibly can. But obviously you do want to make sure that your nose matches the rest of your face. So just go with your favorite, but just a little tip, if you wear more of a matte foundation, it's going to help this area not budge. So for me, I'm going to go in my favorite It Cosmetics CC Cream. I have tried this whole priming routine with different foundations though, including my more dewy foundations like the Fit Me Dewy and Smooth. And it works really well, but personally, my favorite is the It Cosmetics CC. So that's what I'm going to go in with that, just a little pump, and obviously apply it like you normally would. For me, it's with my sponge. Okay, so up next, let's move on to concealer. Again, keeping with that same theme that the dewier your makeup is, the more it's likely to shift and move around. So I'm going to go in with a little bit more of a matte concealer to kind of help that. And I'm going to go with my Colourpop No Filter Concealer. This is in the shade Fair 08, by the way, just for reference. And I'm going to apply it in all the usual spots. However, I am always trying to not apply as much on or around my nose because of course that means more product buildup in that area and it's going to cause it to move even more, even if it is a matte product. So just try to kind of avoid either putting concealer on your nose altogether and avoid going on like the side of your nose because obviously your glasses will sit there and it will move it around throughout the day. Alright, so now moving on to powder before I just kind of speed through the rest of the makeup. Really quickly, I just want to say I used to think that if you baked on the sides of your nose, that was going to help the makeup stick there and it wouldn't move around as much with your glasses, you know, moving up and down your nose. However, that did help it more so than not applying any powder there, but it did still cause the makeup to shift around because simply there was a lot more products there, so it is going to move around. It's just how it works. But I do find that because you did apply some makeup in that area, again, I didn't apply any concealer directly on my nose, just a little bit of foundation. So because you do still have some product there, some cream product, you do want to set it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my Colourpop No Filter Translucent Powder. And what I'm going to do is apply it directly under my eyes and anywhere that I put concealer and only press it in very, very lightly on the sides and the top of my nose, like especially along the bridge of my nose because that's going to help it set and not move around. But I'm not going to be baking or over applying an excess amount of powder that I don't need because it's only going to make it worse for me in the end. So now that we've set everything in place with powder, we have to go and set it in place with the setting spray. This is going to again help further lock in your makeup and all those powders and melt everything into place, but also make it look more like skin again so that you won't look super powdery. I know that we didn't apply a ton of powder, and so if you did, especially make sure that you're spraying your face down. But this is just like an added protective layer. And it feels so good. Alright, so now that my base is pretty much done, I'm going to go ahead and move on to like bronzer and blush and those kind of things that don't really have anything to do with tips for glasses, and then I'll be right back so we can do the eyes. Okay, so my base makeup is pretty much done now. Of course, I'll leave everything that I use linked in the description box below. You guys know I got you. But anyway, moving on to eyes. So obviously with sunglasses, you'll always cover up your eyeshadow, but when it comes to prescription glasses specifically, or even if you wear those glasses, like clear glasses just for fashion, you know, you'll still kind of end up covering up your eyeshadow for the most part. So I typically like to just use or do more of a simple look that will just accentuate my eye shape more than anything. So for that, today I'm going to be using my Morphe and James Charles palette. I know that I just featured this, but I'm kind of on a kick, and it does have every shadow possible. So since I did a super colorful look for my last video, obviously sticking to this kind of region here, I'm going to go ahead and use more of the neutral. So maybe a little bit of this guy, a little bit of this guy, or something like that for the liner. We're going to keep it super, super simple. And this just goes to show too how versatile this palette is. I'm going to take just any fluffy brush. This is my Morphe M513. And I'm going to grab this kind of neutral brown shade right here. And I'm just going to pop this in my crease. It's honestly, this is going to be so quick and easy and simple. Perfect for every day, for work, for errands, for whatever sort of scenario like that. I think I'm going to grab this kind of warm brown in the center here. And basically I'm going to smoke this out a little bit, very lightly, on the outer corner of my eye. And then I'm going to slowly, once I have less product on the brush, I'm going to slowly start to bring it in the crease. Like so. I think I'm going to basically grab some of this cream beigey shade up here and maybe mix it in with a little bit of the white to just brighten it up. Basically, I just want to make my eyes look as bright and awake as possible. and I'm just grabbing it on any flat shader brush. I am grabbing my Morphe M578. You know this is one of my favorites because it's kind of like a fluffy pencil brush. I'm going to take, actually I'm just going to take the same highlight I used on my face. This is the Anastasia one. And I'm just going to pop it in my inner corners. So now really quickly for the lower lash line, I'm just going to grab any tiny brush. And I'm going to grab that first brown that we used in the crease, and I'm just going to run this all along my lower lash line. Alright, so now for the fun part, the wing liner, I'm going to grab a little angled brush. This one's just from Colourpop. I'm just going to start in with this shade right here next to the black. It's just a deep, rich brown, leaning a little bit more red, so I don't know, I'm just going to try that out today. Okay guys, so we're almost done. I've obviously applied my mascara on my brows, and so now we can finish it up with the lips. Obviously for makeup for glasses, I mean the lips don't really matter. You can do whatever lip color you'd like to do, but to kind of amp it up a little bit more and just kind of make other features in your face stand out more, I'm going to go ahead and apply a red lip. Obviously this is going to go really well with this kind of eye look because it's super simple and it's going to really be the main focus of the look. But your eyes will also still pop and still look wide and awake with the techniques that we did earlier. So for my red lip, I typically like to do a liquid lipstick for brighter or darker shades, just because I feel like they really will last a little bit longer and they're just kind of easier to apply because they're not as creamy. So for that I'm going to be using my Makiage liquid lipstick. These are called the Infinitely Longwear Matte Lip Creams, and this one's in the shade Geisha. This is a beautiful true red. As you can see here, it has kind of a blue undertone, so it's really going to go ahead and make your teeth look whiter, which is always really nice. And the applicator is really cool, and I feel like I don't really need a lip liner with it, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. But obviously go ahead and apply whatever lip color you'd prefer. I really like this one too because it's kind of bendy, so it really allows me to get in all the little areas, little hard to reach areas. Alright guys, there you have it. These are all my tips and tricks for makeup for glasses. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new. Leave me a comment down below letting me know which of these tips was your favorite, or if you have any other makeup concerns, that way I can address it with another kind of tips and tricks video. Also, if you have any other tips for makeup for glasses, let me know, because I mean I don't know everything and I would love to kind of start a little conversation down below and get some more tips from you guys. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please do me a favor and give this video a big thumbs up. Helps me out a lot and lets me know what kind of content you like to watch. Also, join the family if you haven't already and subscribe to my channel. Also, go ahead and ring the notification bell, that way you'll actually be notified every time I post a new video. Because sometimes, even though you're subscribed, my video may or may not show up in your feed, unfortunately. So be sure to ring the bell so you won't miss out on future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!